This is my car. It's a Hyundai i20 2012 reg hatchback. And the problem with it is it's not very big.
We've been thinking a lot about van life, and we've seen so much inspiration online with other people travelling around in their vans and having all this freedom. But at the moment it's just not very practical for us, especially when we're trying to save to go travelling. So we thought, why not try just converting Tom's car into a little camper?
And this is how it went. We spent a lot of time deciding what materials we would use and how it would work. We wanted something quite strong that would hold both of our weights and also long enough to be able to allow me to sleep semi-straight.
We toyed with a lot of ideas of how to build it the best way, but we eventually settled on the idea of having a frame in the boot with a plywood sheet going over the top that we can hinge back to make it easy for us to drive when we're not using it. One thing that we really thought was important was that we could put the seats down so that they weren't flat and still try and have a flat surface to sleep on.
Yeah. Step one was to measure the car and make sure that it actually was feasible to be able to do it. So we measured the length from the boot to the front seats when they're folded forward, the width of the car, and the height from the passenger footwells up to the top of the back seats, to figure out where the plywood is going to rest, and that would inform us on how to make the wooden frame for the boot. So first we made the frame, which was made with reclaimed wooden planks that we had lying around. I reckon you could probably get them for free on Facebook Marketplace, but if you wanted to go for a more polished finish, you probably would buy them from new. Now we come to the most important section, the plywood. We bought our sheet of plywood for about £43. The plywood was really important because that is essentially what we were going to sleep on, what we were going to rest our head down on after a long day of adventuring. We then cut the plywood frame to fit inside the car so that we could test it out.
So after we measured the plywood to size, we found where it rested on the back seat, and then we cut that to put hinges on it so that we could fold it back up when we were driving, when we didn't need to use it in the day.
Next step was the legs. So we made the legs out of the reclaimed wood that we made the frame out of, just to save on money. We used heavy duty brackets to hold them in place while we were sleeping. That way we still have space in the passenger footwells for water and shoes and other stuff.
We also had a lot of storage space, more than we thought, in the boot space. And I think eventually we will put another hinge on the boot space to be able to open it up like a little box where the frame is. After the actual frame and the bed was all done, we thought that we needed something to block out the windows and to give us a bit of privacy. So we bought some thermowrap, and Tom cut it down to size to fit the windows.
This is general purpose thermowrap, which is used for sort of wall and floor insulation. And my plan is to put it on the windows to keep it nice and warm. I just have to figure out a way of actually doing that. The idea behind using thermowrap is that it's obviously a wall and floor insulator, so the hope is that it'll insulate us quite well when we put them on the windows, which are sort of all the cold points. We won't actually know if they work or not until we come to actually sleep in it, so who knows. But the plan, I think, at the moment is solid.
We did think originally that we'd have to stick them on with something, but actually they were such a perfect fit that they could just rest on the windows and not have anything to hold it on with.
So first we made a template out of lining paper and then cut around the template with the thermowrap.
We then put the thermowrap on the inside of the windows just to make sure that there wasn't too much excess and to trim it down to make it fit perfectly inside the windows.
And that's how we made our car camper conversion. And this is the finished article. So we've got duvets underneath for comfort, and then if it gets cold we can put a duvet above us, but sleeping bags mainly for warmth. Underneath we've got walking boots and a little cook station and sort of snacks and food. And then on the sides we've got the thermowrap for the curtains and the legs, which are attached via the hinges, so we can extend the contraption, I suppose it's called, to go to sleep. Now, admittedly, it's a little bit of a tight fit, and this is only a first draft. We're going to go and test it out next weekend and sort of see what needs refining, what needs improving, and find out what doesn't work to see how we can make it a really great thing. But this is just a video to show you how we did it and hopefully inspire you to go and create your own creations.
Going into this, we had no idea if it would actually work or not, but we thought we'd give it a try because whatever we tried to be cheaper than buying a van or something.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people had a lot of doubt about whether it'd work or not, and so did we. We had a lot of doubt. But now that it's all built, and we can see that it's so possible to do this in such a small car, and I can't wait to test it out next weekend.
If you got any suggestions or improvements that we could make to the car camper conversion, please leave them down in the comments and we'll try and implement them. Because, as I say, this is a first draft. We need to figure out what works and what doesn't.
So the moment of truth will be when we go and actually try sleeping in it next weekend in the Forest of Dean. So stay tuned for the video that we'll release on that, where you can see whether it actually did work or if it didn't work, and whether sleeping in it was actually a success.
If you want to see more of our adventures in the car camper and you love travel and finding new places, then be sure to subscribe. It's free, it really helps the channel out, and yeah, that's it. We'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Bye!